Alright, welcome. So, this will be part two of my time when I went to Austin, Texas to do the meetup game. And we're going to be doing it a little different this time. I'm just going to be reacting towards some of the clips that I have chosen. Part of it because I'm still new and learning how to edit, and the other half, well, as you'll see in some of the videos, I didn't really capture the flop or some of the cards, so it's going to be a mix of me going off my memory and just overall reacting to some of the plays that occurred too, because I think there's things I could take away and that I have taken away based on the actions that I took while I was out there. So without further ado, I'm gonna get into it. Let me know which style you guys like more, actually, because if you haven't already, part one will be down in the description. It's much more of a voiceover commentary, whereas I feel like this is almost like a reaction esque setup, which I think I might try and pursue. I think it's a lot more interactive. So let's just go into the first clip, and it'll also be mixed into with some of my experiences while I was out there in Texas. So, all right, so let's get into the first clip. Here with Percy. I guess I'll leave him propped up here so you can just. I hope he doesn't fall over. Yeah, okay, beautiful. So like the true professional I am, I didn't even record an intro to when I went. So I believe this was day 3 or 4 because I was only there for about 6 days, 5 days. And so this was like the day before the meetup game that I went there. And let's see what. So we're about. All right, yeah, we're under the gun +2. We pick up ace queen suited. We race to 12. So far I like what I'm seeing. We got one caller, two callers, and then it folds to me. So alright, so far so good. It looks like we might be able to actually see the flop on this one. So alright, dealer puts the chips in the middle. There's 1, 2, 3 people, so there's 3 players. $36 in the pot. Oh, bam! Alright, so we flop top pair. That's good. So let's see what I choose here. Now let me pause. So knowing that there's $36 in the pot and there's 2 clubs out there, from what I know now, I would be wanting to charge, especially because I don't want this to check around and for there to be like a free card given. So I'm looking to do like a pot size bet here, and it kind of like I'm cheating a little bit because I just paused it. It looks like I'm going to be going 30. But yeah, I would be doing at least 3/4 here. So I think if I did at least $30 here, I'm going to be happy with my play. But let's see what we end up doing. So I'm counting out the chips. I've got 30. Get a quick fold from that guy. That's always good to see. And we get a call. And yeah, so there's actually 2 spades on this flop. Now we go heads up to a turn. Turn comes, it's a brick. It's the 10 of diamonds if I'm looking at that correctly. Now at this point, so let's think. There was $36 in the pot. I just raised 30. He called 30. That puts another 60. So now we've got around $96 in the pot. At this point, I think 75 or more. I mean, we didn't get check raised or anything like that. So it's kind of clear from everything that's happening so far that we have the best hand. And it could even be something as simple as the opponent having king queen here. So we definitely want to charge for value. And also protect our hand in case we are going against some king queen. Well, at least like if it's any suited combinations as well. So I'm looking for at least 75 here. Maybe like I don't know. Now knowing what I know now, I'd probably go like $80 even. Now that but I don't know if there's any combinations of straights really. So let's just see what I end up doing. I'm gonna unpause it. Is that like 60? 68? Okay. Why not 69, bro? Come on now. But no, okay, so I'm not a big fan of this. It kind of prices his in here. He goes all in. Oh. Okay. Oh, I remember what happens here. This is actually really unfortunate. So I do not like my snap call here at all, and here's why. Because now Queen 10 gets there, and that is a possible combination. But I do believe that opponent hit his set on the turn here. And I snap called, but let's see if I remember this correctly.
Nice hand.
Yeah, pocket tens. So yeah,
I think that
right away we get stacked. So that This is literally, by the way, this is the first hand that I had recorded. This was the first hand that I had in my thing. So sometimes that's the way it goes in poker, I guess. Looking back at it though, I do wish that I did not snap call. I should have taken the time to reevaluate here, because with him, or not check raising, but re-raising me all in with this turn card. Yes, pocket tens get there. Queen 10 gets there. So I should have taken the time to think this through. Do I ultimately find the fold if I had taken my time? I don't know. It's hard to say. But I at least shouldn't have snap called. And that's, you might see here as well, but especially like in my early stages, even though this is only last year, but I will still call my early stages. Just in general in life, even like I play chess, I've noticed that whenever I play faster, I open myself up to making more mistakes. Whereas if I am more calm, collected, and I just take my time and think things through, most of the time I find the right play and make the right play. So all in all, I should have taken my time here, and just a bad turn card for me. I mean, it's kind of inconspicuous for him to have pocket tens here. He didn't. I mean, I guess there's no need for him to 3-bet. I mean, he is in late position with pocket tens, so he can just call. Should I have sized up on the flop? Maybe. I mean, I did do about a pot size bet, so I'm not really too mad at that. But yeah, considering that we didn't even do our $80 near pot size bet, and he snap re-raise all in, that definitely warrants some time to consider what he could be doing that with. And I think most of the time he's just not bluffing. He's not doing that with any of his draws. Most of the time he's doing that with his made hands, which is at least 2 pair, or even I think I see a 3 on the flop there. Maybe he slow played his flop set. So let's go on to the next clip. All right, so now we're back in. We've got about 200 in front of us. I think that's about 206. So looks good. At least it looks like we picked up like a one rotation. We pick up King 10 offsuit. I'm a little nervous because I see I'm in the small blind here. Oh, actually I'm in the big blind. So I'm in the big blind. So hopefully button raises to 15. I shouldn't be doing anything besides calling here, and I do call. That's a good sign. Under the gun calls as well, and we're going to the flop. Let's see what comes here on the flop. So there's 3 ways. Flop comes. Oh, it's all diamonds. I'm holding the 10 of diamonds. The ace of diamonds is already out there. Button. It checks around to the button who c-bets for 15. I call. Turn comes the 10 of clubs. So that's actually, or is that the 10 of spades? I don't know. It's actually a little bit better for us. The only thing that does suck is that the ace is entirely in her range, or his range. I don't really remember who the opponent was, but let's just say the villain's range. So far, everything is good for them. And at least the 10, I don't think we're up against a flush at this point. It's kind of hard to just flop a flush. And what could he really have here that he raised pre-flop with that flopped the flush? Like King Jack of diamonds. I mean, he definitely doesn't have any ace because the ace is out there, right? I'm holding one of the kings, so that gives me blockers there. I have one of the diamonds. So the only thing that would really make sense here is he has King Queen of diamonds, King Jack even. Or unless he has like a suited connector that he decided to get loose with. But let's see what ends up happening here. This is a pretty interesting turn because now I pick up some equity. What I would like to see from me here is a check just to see where I'm at. And as well, that way I can get to a river a little cheaply. Or a little cheaper. That way, if they are bluffing here, we get off. We have an easier time calling. So it goes check. Check, check. So that's really good. And now I think the last diamond gets out there. So this is interesting. So now I have the flush. I have the 10 of diamonds. And I already see myself reaching for some chips. In hindsight, should not be doing that. Because, like I said, even if he has King Jack offsuit that he re-raised pre-flop with, he could have the King of diamonds, right? He could have the Jack of diamonds even. So ideally, I'd like to see a check from myself here, but considering that I'm already reaching for chips, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But that being said, I feel like if he had one of those diamonds, he would have continued firing on the turn. So I actually do like my bet now. I'm going to change my mind. And I'd like to go for some value, because now at this point, if he does have something like Ace X offsuit that doesn't have any diamonds, he's gonna have a hard time calling, obviously. But you know, at this point, there was $45 pre-flop, $30 combined, so there's about $75 here. So I shouldn't be going more than 30 here. That is my assessment if I'm going for value. Let's see what I do. Yeah. Okay. Make it 35.
I wasn't sure what you were showing me.
Oh.
No,
So
I
I
was
guess.
saying you got it. I missed my flush.
Oh, so he had some. So I guess that river was. Alright, so all that analysis is just wrong. But okay, so I missed my flush. I guess that was a heart that came out on the river there, and he did have one of those Ace X combos that bluff catches. So I value pwned myself here. I guess I tried to make it look like I had the flush, but in actuality I didn't. So all I had was the 10. He had the ace. Pretty simple. I punted myself here. Nice. Let's go to the next one. Alright, looks like this is the very next hand. We're on the button. We have about $50 left behind, it looks like, and we pick up Queen 10 suited. There's a live straddle. Goes to $8. We've got one caller. Folds to me, and at this point, I think a call is fine here, considering that there is a straddle, but I'm not mad at this raise. Let's see what I make it 22. There's 16, 18, 19. All right, so I make about an over a pot size raise. I'm not mad at this, considering A, under the gun straddled, so he could have anything, and under the gun +1 has only called. So if he's only called, we know he's not at the top of his range unless he's slow playing and setting a trap. But we can't really always assume that. So I go out here and raise, and I'm not mad at it. Ideally, probably what I'm thinking here is I'd like everyone to fold, and I just collected dead money. Maybe I should have just shoved at this point since my stack was kind of low, if I really wanted everyone to shove. But let's see what ends up playing out here.
Party on, kids.
Alright, party on, thanks. We're going to party on with the Queen 10 suited. Folds to the under the gun +1, who had initially just linked in. And perfect. Alright, so this is a great clip. I'm glad I chose this. Seems pretty standard. Oh, okay, we're going heads up actually. So there was someone. Can you tell I'm really good at this, guys? Anyways, so someone called. We're going heads up. Let's see what the flop comes out. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, so we just flopped the nuts. So we literally just oh my god, that's crazy. Alright, so we flopped the nuts. We flopped the straight. We have 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace. That makes us the straight. I do see 2 clubs out there. So if that is the case, ideally I would like to, I don't know. If I shove here, I mean, I think I just have to shove no matter what. Everything in this is in my range unless I want to slow play. Let's see what ends up happening. Alright, I decide to slow play. Goes to a turn. Turn is a blank. Looks like a 4 of spades there. Checks to me. I decided to go for some value now. Okay. So, I'm not particularly mad at this play. So far, I actually kind of like it because sometimes when you have everything, your opponent just has nothing. And now that it's gone check, check, check. So, he checked on the flop. I checked on the flop. He checks again. I cannot let another free card go at this point. I need to start building up the pot, getting some value. And it looks like I'm setting myself up for a river jam here. So I hope that's what happens. But ultimately, it all depends on what the villain decides to do here. So let's see what happens here, guys.
Turn a pair and fold.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard that, but he basically just said, I turned a pair and I'm folding. Which is a little weird, but whatever. We take a nice spot, we'll take it. Overall, not too mad at this play. It's pretty good. A nice clip that I've chosen here. And pretty. I think ultimately, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, poker gurus, but I feel like this is pretty standard. Maybe you could say that I should have bet out on the flop here, but I think a check is fine here, considering that that concept of when you have everything, your opponent might have nothing. So I just wanted my opponent to catch up here a little bit here. Alright guys, so it looks like we're on a roll now because we were just in the small blind, and we get into the button, and now we're in the cutoff. So the cutoff, as you can see, there's the button right there that says dealer on it. Cutoff is right before the button. So looks like we were just on a roll here. We just scooped in the pot from when we flopped the nuts, and now we're looking down at ace-5 offsuit. I don't know what happens yet, but ideally some predictions of what I'd like to see since I chose this clip. I'm hoping that there was no other action behind. I'm hoping that either there was just some callers and I decided to raise, or I don't know. Let's see what happens. But ideally, that's what should have played out, right? With hands like these, you don't want to get caught, calling if there's like an early position raise, because most of the time you're going to be outkicked. Maybe if I was suited, because now I have the flush and straight combo draw. But ace-5 offsuit, if I see an early position raise here, I should fold. You should be folding too. Let's see what ends up happening here, though. $2 to go. All right, so far so good. Looks like it's folded around to me. So, okay, now since it's folded around to me, looks like I'm going to take a stab. Nope. Raise to 8. So I was going to raise, but now there is a raise to 8. The sizing isn't too big, so I'm not particularly mad at this call. I am in position. So the later the position of the raises, more of the time you can get away with calling, I guess. But let's see. So we get to a flop. We see king of clubs, 9 of spades, and 10 of spades. And if I remember correctly, we were holding the ace of spades here. I hope I flash my card one more time. So that's a pretty key blocker card, because now no one should be representing that they have a straight. And I'm going to call here just because I don't really believe this guy just yet, and I am holding that backdoor draw. So I'm not mad at this call. I can take a stab at it if that spade comes. And the spade does come, but it pairs the board, because now it's another 10 out there. So not particularly a fan of that. Let's see what happens here. If the opponent checks here, I would like to see myself take a stab at it. But let's see if I can find that.
Wrong game.
I'm all in.
I have an all in.
Oh. I don't even know what to... Okay, so let's see. Oh my god. Okay. So opponent, he just went... Is that 40? He just continued betting for $40. And I just went snap all in. I'm assuming that, I didn't punt here just to... Yeah, if I remember correctly, I don't want to spoil it, but I think it gets through, but I'm not really a fan of this. I mean, the only thing that I'm basically representing right now is the flush hit, but do I really want to be doing this as the board pairs? What I'm saying right now is I have pocket 10s, I have king 10, or I have 10-7, whatever that other middle card is, and or I just have something like ace 10. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I decided to go snap all in. I must have had a read on this guy, hopefully, based on earlier action. And I don't know. I mean, thinking about it, let's see. He raised only $8 pre-flop. Then he let out for $20. We had 3 callers, so there's 24 in the pot. Then he goes for about a pot-sized bet. $20, $40, I call, so now there's 60, and now he continues for $40. So I don't know. I mean, everything is telling us that he's connected in some way. So hopefully we fade any sort of call and he just folds. But one thing that is true though, is I do have, I see why I made this play now. I'm holding the ace of spades. So even if I do get called here, there is a chance that I hit the flush on the river. It's not ideally what I want to occur, but the fact that I'm holding the ace of spades here actually makes this a pretty good bluff, because I'm representing that I basically have the nut flush, I have some combination of 10s here, and hopefully I can get something like ace king to fold. Does that usually fold to a turn like this? Possibly. Possibly. It definitely puts them in the spot. So let's ultimately see what happens here.
Ball for you. What do you?
I'm about to change them all. Don't worry.
Get the good luck from my neighbor. Thank you.
Oh, when I used to go. To
Oh, it's fun. It's I'm getting like my heart's racing a little right now. Like I'm sweating myself. I don't usually do it like this. I actually, all right. On a side note, I kind of like doing this reaction style because I'm sweating myself. I'm looking at my own action, and I'm kind of like living the moment again. So this is the cool thing about poker, guys. Sometimes you can just make these crazy plays, but sometimes they don't really work out. So you know what? Let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens. Oh man. He's tanking. So okay, so it's completely wrong. I was actually holding the ace of clubs. So what I'm guessing is I had it flip-flopped. I can't really see. See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean, like, I'm not... I gotta work on this. But anyway, so I guess I was representing the nut flush because I show the ace of clubs. We get the fold. And, this is a nice, cheeky little bluff. I guess it was the clubs that got there. Is that the king of clubs? Okay, king of clubs. I think it's 7 of clubs, 10 of spades, and 10 of clubs. Okay, so it does make more sense. I do like this bluff still. And it does look like it does get through. And I show the ace of clubs. Nice little bluff. I like that. I'm going to give myself, just for the heart, for the commitment, the spirit of bluffing, I'm going to give myself a 10 out of 10 there. Maybe not the perfect play, but it definitely was the right play. Obviously, it worked because it got my opponent to fold. Had our opponent been at the top of the range and holding something more like pocket kings, which I doubt actually, because that pre-flop raise only being 8 makes it more likely that he wasn't at the top of his range. So all in all, I think that's a pretty good bluff. All right, very next hand. Not the very next. It looks like the button's made its way around the table. We pick up ace-5 of clubs. Don't really know if there's been any action yet. I guess it's folded to me so far because I've only raised $7. And we get 2 folds. Button calls. Small blind folds. Big blind calls. We got 3 players. Going no flop. Readjust the camera. Flop comes jack, ace, something. Ace is good. We're going to keep firing here. $15. Okay, let's think about this. So 7, 14, 21, 22. There's $22 in the pot. I just bet $15. Okay, not bad. There's really no draws out there, so I'm charging any jack X. Hopefully I'm not outkicked here. Like I said, I don't really know what happens here in this clip. I just picked out some clips a while ago, and now I'm just reacting to them. So let's see what happens. So we bet out for 15. Button flexing his chips. He doesn't care. Look at he's so cool. He's so swag. Whatever. I'll comment on that later. Turn comes. I decide to slow down, and this is actually a pretty good card for me. So I don't know why I check here. I should have continued to bet because if I'm right, that looks like it's the 8 of clubs, and that first card over there is the jack of clubs. So now I have the nut flush draw to go along with my top pair. I definitely miss out on some value here. I'll be very upset if I don't get any money on this river bet. Marty, what are you doing? This is a very big, lame 0 out of 10 play for me. When you're drawing to the nut flush like this, you got to continue firing here. I feel like maybe that's a leak. But at the same time, let's see what happens. Maybe this check on the turn was good. It sets us up for a nice value bet on the river. Okay, river gets there. We just made the nut flush. Wow. Yeah, so this is exactly why you got to bet in your hands like this. As soon as I reach for the chips, insta-muck. The guy literally couldn't have thrown his cards faster if he wanted to. That's like, I didn't even get my bet into the pot, and he's already folding. So yeah, like I said, I disapprove of my play here. I definitely should have continued firing on the turn. kept charging any sort of Jack X, even if he has the clubs as well. What if he has the backdoor flush draw like me, but I'm holding in a nut flush, so if he doesn't make that flush on the river, he's definitely going to be paying me big time. Fortunately, it doesn't work out well here. I'm glad at least I didn't do the real rookie mistake of checking this river and allowing him to check back for a free card or for a free showdown. Yeah, I would have liked to see myself bet on the turn here. All right, I'm not looking forward to this clip. I don't know why it's here, but we look down at the fabulous 7-3 of diamonds. We're suited, right? And we're Alright, so we're on tilt. We're on tilt, I guess. We didn't get any value from making the nut flush. So now we're just on tilt. I raised to 15. Man, I hope I obliterate this flop. Just drop a nice 7-7-3 or 7-7-7. Yeah, so I raised 15. It looks like I'm under the gun +1 or under the gun +2. So we're in early position here. And we sized up pretty big, especially for a 1-2 game. So $15 folds around. That's good so far. All right, big blind says he's coming in, or is that the small blind? But we got a caller. Heads up. All right, we've got $31 in the pot. Let's see what happens. Flop comes. Okay. Ace, deuce, queen. It looks like 2 clubs. This is good for what we're representing right here. So let's think right now, right? Because we got to remember, they don't see our cards. Only we see our cards. Unfortunately, in this case, we're looking down at 7-3 of diamonds. But everything that up to this point I've said so far says I have a good hand. So if it checks to me, I would like to see myself continue firing here, representing that I hit this ace. Let's see what happens. This can only occur if opponent checks to me. If he bets out to me, I hope I folded. And I didn't do anything crazy like check raise. Or not check raise, but re-raise. Checks to me, I see bet for 15. That's good. I'm okay with that. Looks like I'm going for a value bet. Goes with a call. Looks like that's a queen of diamonds, so I do have backdoors. I do like seeing that. Turn comes, it's another diamond. Looks like early position, quickly check to me, and I size up here. I like this. This is very good because even though I'm bluffing, my hand has now turned into a semi-bluff. Any diamond on the river right now makes my flush. It's very unlucky that my opponent has the same backdoor flush draw as me. If he does, oh well. But this is actually the perfect card for me to continue firing. So it looks like I bet out here for now, and I sized up for about 50. And if you think about it, it actually makes pretty good sense because now it looks like I'm trying to extremely protect my hand of any ace-x combo, ace-queen. I mean, even aces at this point. You know, when the flush gets out there, you know, the flush draw gets out there, money starts piling into the pot. So let's see what happens here. Ideally, I think I'd like to see a fold. What happens here is if he calls, he probably has an ace. Could have ace-queen. He could even have king-jack maybe, but at this point, you know, at that point, with him calling, with 2 streets, of me firing on the flop and on the turn, I should just give up. But let's see what ends up happening here. If the diamond doesn't get there on the river. And he folds. Alright, very good. So I will give myself... Beginning, I was a little worried. I didn't know why I put this in. But very nice on my bluff here, Marty. I'll give it to you. That's a little golf clap. Little golf clap. I like that. That's the heart and aggression that we need. Because as you guys know, in part 1, if you haven't watched it already, go watch it. I had a tendency of just going in on the first bullet and busting right away. What happened? Well, I busted within the first minute to pocket tens. And so now we're battling. This is the type of player I am, guys. You know, I like to battle. So I'm glad to see that, you know, I'm not shying away from making plays still. And overall, yeah, I like the aggression here. Alright, next hand here, we've got pocket 4s in late position. Alright, interesting. Okay. I say because I roughly remember what happens here. Spoiler alert, it ain't gonna be pretty. That's all I'm gonna say. So right now, we see an early position raise to $10. Looks like that's under the gun +2, raising to $10. We've got a caller. So at this point, when there's believe 2. I can't see if under the gun plus 3 calls, but assuming that there's only 2 callers, or even if there's only 3 callers, what I'd like to see for myself here is only calling. And here's why. I know there's arguments for 3-betting here, but look at my stack size, dude. Everyone around me has got me out chipped. Maybe this guy in front of me here has got me, you know, is about even with me, but those are not $100 stacks. Those are little mini $50 stacks. So yeah, the only option here for me should be to flat call and go set mining, but unfortunately I know Marty does not do that, and he decides to 3-bet, which with the right hand is the good play, but with the pocket 4s I don't think that's going to cut it, and I make it $33. The good thing here at least is I have good table image, so I'm trying to think back, maybe I was playing into that, but like I said, I'm down 1 bullet already. I'm trying to get my way back, and sometimes I can be a little too aggressive. I think this is one of those moments. Let's see what the original pre-flop raiser decides to do here. And yep, he's raising. Yep, he's going for the green chips. Those are not calling chips. So what? That looks like he's doing about $75, $80. I don't know, but I do know what I should be doing, and it's folding. Yeah. So when your opponent 4-bets you, especially from early position, most of the time it's not a bluff. And unfortunately, early Marty here, I guess, was not capable of recognizing that, or didn't want to recognize that. But let's see what I end up doing here. At this point, and I will say, at this point, since I'm reacting back to my play, the only option here is to fold. I could 5-bet jam as a bluff, but that's exactly what I have at that point, a bluff, right? And what am I really hoping to fold out? Another small pocket pair like mine? Even then, what if he has pocket 9s? He could still call. Pocket 10s, he could still call. So I don't really think I'm folding anything out with a jam here, especially with my stack size. I mean, maybe I can call, to go set mining at that point, but with my stack size, it's shove or fold in my eyes. You can see, I'm thinking, it folds to me. I'm formulating. It's $70, and I call. No, Marty, no! It's like that scene in Interstellar. I never watched Interstellar, but you know that meme. Let's put it up now. But yeah, this is what I feel like. I'm just like, no, I can't watch this train wreck. But all right, we make the call. We have about 74 behind. I don't even know. Flop comes 7 queen 3. We do not hit our 4. Or is that 8-7 queen? Does it even matter at this point? Fortunately, we know what's probably going to happen. He checks. So, kind of good that he checks here, right? I could just check back, see a turn card. But no. If you haven't already picked up from the way I've been playing this session, I'm not really in a friendly mood. So what is the only option for me to do here? All in.
I'm all in.
All in.
Go all in. And, because I do remember this hand. Because
Still waiting.
obviously I just, played so perfectly here. But honestly, in all honesty, in my mind at this point, I'm thinking that I could be good here with this check. You can see, and I think it's valid to put him on ace-king here. He only raised $10. Then he 3-bets all of a sudden to 70, or 4-bets all of a sudden to 70 and sizes up. And now he checks on this flop. You're going to see this kind of line most of the time with ace-king type hands. But unfortunately, my assessment was incorrect. So, and especially when he doesn't snap call here, I'm thinking that. And at this point, it took him a minute for him to call about. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe we're up against ace-king. But we don't show. I'm still in my mind hoping for the 4
pair?
to come out. The 5 comes, and then the 9. I think it pairs the board, so I say 2 pair. Because, I mean, yeah, I guess I got 2 pair, but he has pocket jacks. So, alright, before I let, Marty of the past here talk about what happened. Yeah, I mean, not too happy with that. I think, very bad play all around. If he did have ace king there, that would have been phenomenal. But he did not have ace king. Him having jiggities there was, I think he played it as he should have. I don't think he's ever folding to my shove based on the fact that it's about equal to the pot. So he's basically priced in, and overall bad play there. Should have been just a nice smooth call, and I would have saved myself some money, and I would have still been at the lodge at this point. All right, a nice quick session, I guess. I basically punted off 2 bullets, not gonna lie. Both hands that I lost in. I don't know what it was today. I mean, maybe I was just kind of loose. Let me rephrase. Maybe I was just used to the loosey-goosey Texas goons. Today the table was a little tight, and I didn't give them enough credit on some of the plays they were making. So yeah, first bullet, we have ace queen, flop comes 10 6 7, something like that, queen 6 7, something like that. 2 spades, 1 club. Turn brings a 10. I bet out, get 3 bet, all in. I call, snap call really, and I mean, not snap call. I did think like, okay, he could have queen 10 here. Could have an over. He could just be shoving with some kind of draw, and no, he had pocket 10, so he turned to set, so fair play. And then the second hand, I pick up pocket 4s, and I just made the wrong read. I assumed that he had ace king, ace queen, something like that. Flop came queen 7 6, I believe. I'm gonna have to review back the footage, but yeah, I punted off. Basically, he checks to me. I go all in. He thinks for a little, but calls. He has pocket jacks. Yeah, I don't think he's really going anywhere. He really would have to be putting me on queens, ace queen, kings aces. Kings aces I would have shipped pre. I don't know if maybe I should have 5 bet shoved, but I think he calls with pocket jacks. He's not really going anywhere, So that was a mistake on me. I should have folded after he 4 bet my 3 bet. And now I think about it, it's such a bad play that I make, because I know when he's 4 betting, jacks plus are in his range, right? And ace king is up there, sure, right? I did have a position on him, so I called, and when he checks to me, so I'm thinking like, okay, maybe I chose the wrong time to ship. Maybe the turn, if he checks again, that could have been a good one to ship it at. But yeah, I'm really disappointed in myself for the plays I made here. Honestly, I was basically only here for an hour, and I donated 400 back to the lodge, so now we're down 100 on the trip. Awesome. We'll see how it goes. I might come back later tonight, but yeah, for now I'm gonna have to just go out detailed, and yeah, just really, I don't know, I guess reevaluate what the fuck I just did in there. So you might be wondering, Marty, if you just busted at the lodge right now, how are you gonna get lunch or food for later today? Well, no worries. Behind the Whataburger, I just did a successful dumpster dive. We got some leftovers here, so we're still eating. A successful dumpster dive after a nice punch, so all's good in the hood here. Alright, so at least it's nice to see that I was still kind of in good spirits a little bit here. I don't know why I said I was down 100, because technically we would have been in our break even, because in part 2 we're down 400, and part 1 we made 400, so we're about break even here. So I'm not sure why I said I was down 100 here, but yeah, that's what I got for this part, guys. I mean, part 1 versus part 2, I don't know. I can't really compare the two. Part 1, you could say I was a little bit more on my A game. I guess the loose action out there during the night definitely played a part. Part 2, I just trolled. There's really no other way to say it. I took aggressive lines on the entire day, and in those moments where it paid off, it paid off. And in these moments with pocket fours, it really wrecked me. And that's how it goes in poker. And that's like the double-edged sword of being an aggressive player. But part of that is just knowing when to be aggressive, and clearly I just chose all the wrong spots. Well, not all the wrong spots, but I just chose one of the worst spots to continue my aggression here. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think I'll rally it back up for part 3. We got a special guest coming in part 3. If you see my YouTube shorts, you probably know who it is already. And yeah, let me know as well if you guys like the part 1 style with the commentary, or if you like the part 2 style with the kind of like a reaction channel-esque vibe. Didn't have as much graphics here, but hey, I'm only about almost less than 2 weeks from my part 1 video, so look at how fast I get these videos out if I don't have to worry about graphics and all the minutia of editing with the graphics. So that's all I'm gonna say. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe especially. I think it could be crazy, but I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. Is it possible? I don't know. As I'm speaking right now, it's like October 2nd. I've got like 67 subscribers. Let's go for it. Why not, right? Just why not? So, thank you again, guys. I'll see you in part 3. Comment your predictions if you think I'm going to nail the goal and I'm just going to go absolutely crazy and make $1,000 at the meetup game, or if I'm just going bust. Who knows?